Geoff. How are you, bud? Haven't seen you in a while. Haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you.
Call me anytime.
Okay, we're ready to rock and roll. We'll go ahead and get started with Georgia Tech head coach Geoff Collins. Coach, if you could open us up with some remarks before we take questions.
Absolutely. Obviously, the things that after the game that I said were accurate. We got out-coached. We got outplayed versus a very good Ole Miss team. We got in Sunday, watched the film, made the corrections, and have now moved on to get ready to play a very good UCF team on the road. Obviously, I see a lot of you guys here. I appreciate you guys coming out, covering the guys, covering the program. Obviously disappointed in the way we played, and fully committed and invested every single day to getting it right. Proud of the guys in the locker room, the way they handled the corrections, the things that we got to get better on, and the way they came out there and practiced today. And we got a lot of work to do till Saturday, but I appreciate you guys being here.
Okay, we'll go ahead and open up the questions. If you have a question, please raise your hands or you can get your microphone. Go ahead and start over here with David.
Coach, when you turn on that film at UCF, what do you see?
I mean, they've got speed all over the field. It's one of the top rushing offenses and really one of the top offenses in the country. They're playing at a high level on defense as well. Tempo will be a factor offensively, and obviously Saturday against Ole Miss, we did not handle that very well. And so obviously UCF will see that on tape. We've got to make the corrections. We've taken the necessary steps in preparation to handle those things better. They've got a very good team, very good roster, and a very good coaching staff. So it's a challenge. We got to be ready for it.
Hey, Coach. Doug Robertson with the AJC.
Hey,
you talked about tempo just a second ago. One of the players after the game said it's a mental thing. How do you fix that in just a few days before you're going to play in the heat down in Central Florida?
Yep. So just the awareness and the focus and the things, the mechanisms that we have in place to get lined up with the calls, get our eyes to the sideline, hurry back to the line of scrimmage to get ready to play, and just understanding that it's coming and everybody be on the same page. We went through in detail with the guys the plays that were explosive and how they hurt us, whether it was not having our feet set, not having our eyes on our keys, not playing with proper leverage, misfitting interior gaps, whatever the case may be. And then with the tempo, all of those issues get compounded, and we can't allow that to happen. And just the sense of urgency when we do have a situation that there is an explosive play, getting lined up, getting the call, and getting ready to go.
Kelly.
Geoff, obviously there's a lot of noise around the program. Kind of what's your message been to the team this week as you try to get ready for this game?
Yeah, the biggest thing is just the internal focus that we've been building and creating within the program, focus on those things. That's what I'm trying to do every single day that I wake up, come in here and pour myself into this program, pour myself into these players, and that will never change. And we just ask the guys to do the same thing, pour themselves into the process, pour themselves into the preparation, practicing at a high level, being great teammates, all of those things. And I know it's hard. It's a little bit easier for me to block out the noise since I'm not on social. I don't check my emails. I don't do any of those things. So it's a little bit easier, but I'm not an 18 to 22, 23-year-old young man who has social media and all those things. So the conversations that I've had intimately and privately with the guys, I'll leave that between us. But just really thankful for the guys that I'm blessed to coach every single day. You guys that are out here every single day, you saw their response today, the way they attacked it, the way they prepared, and we've got to continue to do that in order to put a better product on the field. And I'm surrounded by a group of guys that's committed to it, and so go from there.
Geoff.
Talking about that, and you said it's easier for you to block things out. Have you seen, from a player standpoint, any quit at all? Do you still see fight in games?
Absolutely. Absolutely, I do. And just the way they talk and the way they lead out there today, the way they speak, even after some of the tough losses, the development of the program and getting to that point where the guys are exerting their leadership and have the ability to do that and the want to do that that's what we've been building towards. And Zamari Walton, defensive unit meeting this morning, Zamari Walton started it off by talking to the defense and saying, I'll leave it in there, but very poignant, powerful, positive messaging to the guys, and the guys went out there and practiced that way and did it. Now, the challenge is to continue to do that until Saturday, but was proud of the way the guys did it today.
Ken?
You sort of addressed it, but just as far as Saturday goes, this past Saturday,
Yep.
How do you explain, just given, all that's been invested
Yep.
and how ready guys seem to have been and changes you made on the staff and all those things that
Sure.
it turned out the way it did?
Yeah, it was a bad series of events from the opening drive. The tempo in their opening script was really good, and they went down and we allowed them to score a touchdown. We get a stop and have to punt. Then we have a failure in the process on the punt team, and we gave up a blocked punt that should have never happened. And then from there, we could never get back on track. And so obviously disappointing, and that part is completely on me as the head football coach. I take great responsibility for it. You guys that know me very well, nobody is more self-critical and wants us to be a really good football team more than I do. The amount of investment that I put into every single one of these players, the amount of investment that I put personally into this program, how much I love this program and I love this place, and you guys know how much I love the players that are in this locker room. It hurts. And, committed to fixing those things so when we do have adversity like we did on Saturday, we're able to respond much better than we did. And we get a good challenge on Saturday as well to be able to play a really good team.
Michael?
When you're not getting the results you want like this, how do you balance, sticking to the fundamental things that you believe in, but
Right.
also changing in areas where you need to?
Yeah, and that's the constant thing as a coach, and being very introspective and going and finding out the best ways to do things, and so we're constantly on that battle, under that internal scrutiny to make sure we're doing all the things necessary to give our guys a chance to have success, to win football games, all of those things. So that is the constant battle, and that's every single year and every single week. And then too, the greater the adversity, the more challenging and overcoming those challenges become. So we just got work to do.
Patrick, right back here.
Coach Collins, back to last week's game in the running back room. Did you go to more running back by committee on purpose as a pregame plan, or was that an intra-game
Yeah,
strategy?
no, a little bit. Just trying to get certain runs for certain guys. But we've got to do better on all phases. With the run game, I thought the week prior, that was a focus. We were able to get it done. We weren't able to get it going this past week on Saturday. Now, again, I'll give credit to Ole Miss. They've got really good players. They had a really good scheme. It was difficult for us to move the ball, and then compounding that is the sacks that happened that made it hard as well. So a lot of work to do and to get ready for Saturday.
Geoff?
Geoff, I don't think anybody doubts your desire to get this turned around
Yep.
and effort to try to do so, but
Yep.
do you understand people on the outside thinking you've had long enough, you're not capable of this, you
Gotcha.
can't do this?
Sure, I understand all that, Geoff, but there's, I'm going to try to say this the right way. I have tremendous amount of confidence based on demonstrated ability. Now, has that shown up yet while we've been here? It is not. Do I have faith and belief in the process that we're going about to do it? Absolutely. Do I have faith and belief in the young men that are in that locker room that we've recruited, that we've developed to be able to take the next step? Absolutely, 100%.
You're talking about your demonstrated. When you say demonstrated ability,
Sure, just having confidence in knowing that we can do what we set out to do and keep working to get that done. I do have confidence in it. Absolutely.
Doug?
Thanks.
Just a two-part question. Going back to that block punt,
Yep.
Was it a miscommunication from the sideline to the players?
Nope.
Was it a miscommunication? So it was a miscommunication by one of the players?
Yes.
And how do you-
I'll leave it there.
Okay.
What we do, our Sunday process when we put the film to bed, offensively watches as offensive unit, defensive watches as defensive unit. Then we go to a team meeting and we watch every single special teams play in front of the entire team. And it's to educate and correct. And so we all see, here's the things that should have happened. Here was the breakdown. Here's how it should have been done. Here's how we get it corrected. Go through the educational process so that does not happen. So.
And I know that you were going to work with the defensive coordinator a little bit more this year, lending your expertise.
Yep.
How do you think that's going, and what improvements do you see?
Sure.
What needs to be improved?
Yep. So continue to work. Thought we had a good plan, and then it's frustrating when the plan doesn't work out as well as you had worked to have it work out, and that's on the coaches, that's on myself, and continue to work to put our guys in the best position so they can have success. Were there moments of things that went well? Sure, but getting off the field on third down, creating turnovers, those kind of things we didn't have happen, and then the tempo compounded the issues off of some of the explosive plays.
We'll have time to take a few more, so right back there. Go ahead.
Aaron Wilson, AJC intern. Speaking of improvement, there have been some doubters outside of the program about Geoff Sims and how he's fared early in the season. Is there anything you can say to that, or you want to say to the doubters?
The thing that I just want to express is confidence and belief in Geoff, and obviously we all want to play better across the board at every single position, and then around the quarterback position playing better as well. So it's all of us, but it falls on me as the head coach to get everybody, all the surrounding pieces, to play at a high level as well. But we've got another week to go out there and play at a high level, and I'm expecting and confident in Geoff to play at a high level and the people around him to do that as well.
Kelly, and then Ken will wrap up.
Kind of looking at where you are now, you guys are 1-2, and I think most people would have had you peg that in the preseason, but obviously
Sure.
probably had 6 not great quarters in those 3 games
Right.
so far. How much of, I guess, pressure, or how do you look at the next 2 games when you're on the road? You got a chance to show people
Right.
maybe where things are at before the next home game.
Sure. And the biggest piece is playing a consistent brand of football. We've played well, played at a high level at times in spurts. The biggest piece is the consistency in keeping that good football played at a high level throughout the entire time. And that's the challenge. That's the focus for me as the head coach and for the guys as well, is playing a consistent brand of really good football. And started today with the preparation and getting work done against each other. Did a lot of good work for the speed of the game, because there are some similar looks on both sides. And then the developmental reps were key as well.
Ken, if you want to wrap this up.
Obviously there wasn't a unit I don't think that did really well against Ole Miss Saturday, but the offensive line had some trouble. I know
Sure.
it's a group that Brent has had a lot of confidence in and hope for.
Yep.
Do you see in that group a unit that can be, can produce and protect Geoff and make goals for the running game?
Right, and I know that there's nobody more committed and more passionate about this place than Brent Key, and having the offensive line play at a very high level. Obviously, when you give up a lot of sacks or don't have the rushing yards that we want and expect, that fuels that to respond at a high level, and I expect the offensive line to respond at a high level on Saturday. It's a challenging defensive unit that's defending the run and the pass very well. But the focus and the intensity and the execution at that position, I expect to be really good on Saturday.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
See you, man.
I don't have your stuff.
Yeah, Ken's. I don't have yours.
Yeah,